if you found out about the show today by way of your X account, over the weekend that was sort of under threat, although the Liberals have trotted out one of their stupidest MPs, Evan Solomon, to deny the insinuation that the Telegraph of the UK reported that Canada, along with, I believe it was Australia, and always the UK, the censorship state of the UK, where they arrest you for memes and put you in jail for years, were going to ban X over the problem of certain, I'm trying my best to keep us on YouTube, certain AI generated images done by Grok. So Artificial Intelligence Minister Evan Solomon, I didn't even know that was his job, says Canada isn't considering a ban of the social media platform X, though his office is in discussions about X's deepfake controversy. They go on to say that the platform owned by Elon Musk has drawn global criticism over sexualized deepfakes created by X's artificial intelligence chatbot Grok, which have proliferated in recent weeks. So that on Saturday night, the Telegraph reported the UK government was gathering international support to respond to the controversy, with Canada sharing UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer's concerns. And they said the regulator Ofcom, that's the UK regulator, is investigating, which could lead to a X facing a ban in the UK. Now, after midnight on Sunday, the Liberals panic, send out Solomon to post on X. These people who are like, X is a problem. And then they go to X and then post. I saw Linda Steele, former global news journalist. She's on the West Coast. And she's like, I wouldn't have a problem with X being banned. Sister, nobody's making you be here. Show us how it's done, lady. But no, she goes on X to complain about X. And as a journalist promoting censorship, like, as I said, it was like a Fibonacci sequence of just perfect leftism. But anyway, they said discussions are being held with, quote, allied governments and across Canadian government departments. And then CTV News points out the Liberal government has continued to use X despite the controversy. Exactly.
Well, Sheila, first of all, it's very interesting about that global journalist coming out in defense of a censorship ban of X, but it's completely...
While using X.
Oh, but that's besides the point.
Do you even get it?
But you know what? That's besides the point, because it's completely logical for those in the mainstream media to want X evaporated.
Sure.
That is competition for them. They want to go back to the dark old days where you only got your information from the mainstream media. And also, to your point, while she's using X, that's kind of humorous, isn't it? It's like, we should all boycott X. But you first. I have 38,000 followers or whatever, and I don't want to let those go, without, a critical mass behind me. So, it's very laughable. I can't get past Evan Solomon, the very idea we have an artificial intelligence minister. I mean, talk about a punchline built into the joke, or in this case, the title.
So Orwellian, right?
Well, Sheila, I go back to the last federal election campaign, and you remember, I don't know if it exists anymore, but he was posting I guess it was his kickoff, and it had the big red Liberal bus. But instead of the word liberal, I don't know, can I say that R word? Olivia, super producer, has already found it. I won't say it. I'll just let the visuals. Now, that was the official posting for Evan Solomon. Look what he thought was the Liberal bus. Well, I know there might be a joke there, truth in advertising, but anyway, this is the guy who's going to be the gatekeeper for artificial intelligence. I don't know. I'm not buying what he's selling, Sheila, but I can totally understand why the Liberals would be all about banning X. Not so much, by the way, when Twitter was around under Jack Dorsey. Oh, no. That was completely fine. Dorsey and his minions did their own selective censorship. But right now, I think Elon Musk, he should get the Nobel Prize for freedom of speech, for liberating Twitter into X. And clearly certain powers that be don't like it. And I say tough.
Well, I had a slightly broader concern about the Liberals' stupidity, besides, the basic censorship issues. The Liberals themselves are not concerned with censorship. They are advancing all kinds of pieces of censorship legislation. They've passed many and they're going to bring in more. So that's not their concern, Canadians being able to speak their minds. They obviously don't want us to speak our minds. So perhaps we could appeal to them on the fact that we are in the middle of a effing trade war with the Americans, you dummies. And in August, Trump threatened tariffs and a threat to curb exports against countries with digital rules targeting U.S. tech. So if you were a country that targeted Meta, which we did, if you were a country that targeted Google, which we did, and now you're a country that's going to target X, you are subject to trade sanctions. This is a trade issue with them. And so he's gonna come after us for this if we continue to pursue this in the middle of a trade war that is crushing parts of our sectors. And then we also have just at the end of December. This is from the United States Department of State. So Marco Rubio's Department of Everything. An announcement of actions to combat the global censorship industrial complex. And Mark Carney has just signaled that he's part of it with the Australians and the UK. The State Department is taking decisive action against 5 individuals. So they're not messing around here, who have led organized efforts to coerce American platforms to censor, demonetize, and suppress American viewpoints they oppose. These radical activists and weaponized NGOs have advanced censorship crackdowns by foreign states, in each case targeting American speakers. It's not just American speakers, they go on to clarify, and American companies. As such, I've determined their entry, presence, or activities in the United States have potentially serious adverse foreign policy consequences for the United States. And they're not screwing around here. Listen to this. Based on these determinations, the department has taken steps to impose visa restrictions on agents of the global censorship industrial complex, who, as a result, will generally be barred from entering the United States. And we should
Sheila,
deport them if they're there, by the way.
I'm very happy you brought this up. That was one of the points I meant to make, because 11 months ago, February of last year, I remember being at an event with our beloved big boss man, Ezra Levant, and this was being floated back then. I don't know if you remember. And I said, Ezra, are the Liberals serious? And he said, for all the reasons you just mentioned, it's not a chance. And even more so now, as we, I don't know, can anyone send me a super chat and explain where elbows up is right now in terms of solidifying trade deals? Could you imagine at this delicate point in Canada-US relations, the Carney Liberals banning X, and what Rubio and Trump, how they would react? It's a non-starter. It is not going to happen for that reason alone.
Yeah. Yeah, well, but I don't know. I do not trust the Liberals, and never underestimate their stupidity on trade issues, right? This is where we're at with them. So, I mean, it's clear that they were in talks with the UK. I think the talks got linked and the Canadians panicked. That's what I think happened.
Well, be that as it may, I'm not saying, Sheila, that the Liberals don't want to ban X. It's beyond their control. Those are not the, paid lapdogs in the mainstream media doing their bidding. I'm just saying, for the threat of reprisals, which would surely happen, I think that's what makes us a non-starter.